Good morning in there, out there, in there. Huh? Oh, from in here, out here. Everybody take a deep breath. Give Vivian an early morning biscuit. There you go. How about that? Start our day with a slurp. Aren't you a good girl, huh? Aren't you a good girl? Yeah. Oh, boy. Let's just sit back, lie down, stay in bed. Yeah. Right? You had your walk around the neighborhood, or the woods, I mean. All our neighbors, the birds and the squirrels, and the little red squirrel, he's a tiger. No, he's a squirrel. He's feisty. Well, so good to have you with us. Oh my goodness. Hasn't spring blossomed? I don't know exactly, of course, where you are. Had some nice notes this week from some of you. Wow, that helps. Sometimes I wonder, I read these things where somebody has 876,000 followers. I like our little group. Yeah, don't we, Viv, huh? We like it here like this, don't we? But spring, here it's I don't know what the word is, just blown up. It's just remarkable, and it's so beautiful. It's so green and so lush. And I don't know. I've been studying quantum physics. Yes, there's nothing like quantum physics to get you going in the day. But the neat, well, I'll come back to that a little later. One of the things I love here is we can hear far in the distance, but we can hear very muted is the train whistle several times a day. And boy, there's just something wonderful. It's haunting, but in a good way, to hear that train coming into town. I guess it's from Chicago, right? Most of the time. And it goes on north. Yeah. Sentimental has become a pejorative, a negative word, and that's actually not correct. It's sort of substituted, unfortunately, a negative. Oh, it's sentimental, or the movie is sentimental, the poem is sentimental. Really what they mean is cheesy, manipulative, sappy. But sentimental is a combination of sentiment and mentality, and that means whole person. Sentiment, mentality combined. I guess I'm on a campaign. It's sort of an odd campaign to be on when things are so divisive and mean-spirited and cruel. So we need to have spring. Yeah, we need to have spring, and we need to stay. Look at me, I'm giving a sermon or something. But it just feels so much better to stay in the good world while the cruel world is doing its thing. Julie's over there knitting. And yesterday I planted flat after flat after flat. I couldn't name all the flowers. We had gone to Van Til Nursery. It's a huge nursery of only annuals. Friendly place, and so big that it's not crowded. Nobody's fighting over the begonias or the astilbes. So anyway, well, yeah, just planted and planted, and Julie went down to the dock deck and planted pots down there, and she's creating a beautiful garden around the deck. Oh man, and her grandmother's peonies came up. This is the what, honey? About 5th, 6th, 7th place they've been? Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, they started in Massachusetts.
They started in Massachusetts.
And then went to Charlotte, Michigan.
Charlotte, Michigan. Burt Lake, Michigan.
Holland.
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 Well,
Holland.
Well, not Holland, really. Ottawa Beach, really, right?
Okay.
Ottawa Beach, and then out to what we call the monastery.
Right.
Then to Douglas, to the house, and then to Singapore Trails, and then here. Isn't that something? And they came up. Grandma's Peonies. Don't you love that? That should be the title. Should try to do something with that. So anyway, back to quantum physics. See, quantum physics is, now all the quantum physicists are going to be calling me, but it's going to be ringing all day, I know, because I'm going to philosophize it instead of physicist it. See, there's always been this search for what is real, but then there's everything is connected to everything. Everything just keeps connecting onto this and then onto that and onto this. So there's really only one thing with a whole lot of other things that are different from one another, but interwoven and connected. It's like, you know, connected to the connected to the. So if you look at a tree, is the tree what's real, or is it you? But there's this thing called looking at the tree. And we don't know what that is. That's a third thing that's made from the two thing. Now, so you don't really have a self. What you have is what you're, the relationship of what you are looking at. Isn't that? I love that. It just relieves you of well, yourself. There's too much in Western culture exploring, who am I, what am I, what am I, need an identity. That doesn't work. Who am I right now? I'm that which is looking at my wonderful Julie. Knitting. I don't know what that is. You could say it's sight, but no, it's something created between me and Julie. So it could be you in the laundry. Today it's me and my pill box, and that's not a very good relationship. So I have to, you know, sort of look at the pill box and be grateful those pills are keeping me going. And that changes everything. See, it just does. And Vivi's, this is me and Vivi. What is that? Okay, I'm done philosophizing. But I love that stuff. And it's so relaxing. Try it. It's kind of like mindfulness. There's another thing created that we can't, there are no words for it. And it's really relaxing. Now, our daughter, and at least half of you have heard me tell this story because I think it's so important I tell it over and over. Our daughter was a quantum physicist when she was 7 years old. Now, she didn't say, hey, Dad, I'm a quantum physicist. We were taking a walk, and she said, I know the most important word in the world. Oh, how about that? And I said, well, what's that? And she said, it's width. And I said, oh, that's fascinating, Meredith. Mimi, Why is it with? She said, because we're always with. We can't not be with. We're either with ourselves or somebody else or something or an event, but we're always with. We can't not be with. And I said, oh, and wow. Well, what do you think about that? She said, well, I think it means you have to try to create a good with. And that's that thing. That's that with. That's that thing. I found about 90 golf balls this week. I don't know if that's a quantum physics thing. But I leave them for our neighbors who'd like to take them, I told you, over to the driving range over here, and then they return. That's how we return the golf balls, to the driving range that hits them up into our... Just think, we have 7 acres here, but the golf balls find their way by hook or by slice into our place. That's pretty good. So I found that much. And I guess I told you I've been working in the garden. And now, I read an article yesterday. Don't I read a lot of articles? Anyway, it was about how healthy working in the garden is, what it does for you. Now, what it does for me physically is make my knees hurt, my back hurt, my arms hurt. But it's good for you healthy. Yeah. And it goes away. But oh man, going down into that dirt, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You know who loves this one over here, Vivi? You know who loves Vivi? Who loves Vivi? The bluegill and the largemouth. As soon as she goes down to the pond, whoosh, how many, Julie? Hundreds?
Yeah, a couple hundred.
Couple hundred bluegill and largemouth. Fewer largemouth, but here's Vivi, and that means closely followed by Julie and fish food. Right, Viv? And Viv loves her fish food, too. She loves to eat fish food, don't she? Yeah. And now when I am going through the woods clearing out stuff, I love to ram into branches, and then I get these. It's just really funny. You go like, boom! Yeah. Boy, what a good gardener am I. Google bluegill. Now, isn't that fun to say? Google bluegill.
Google reproduction.
Google bluegill reproduction. Thank you, Julie. It's funny. Okay, you got, right? I mean, I need a slurp after bluegill reproduction. Huh?
Maybe it's the sex life of bluegills.
Well, let's make it more enticing. The sex life of bluegill.
It's an article.
It's a great article, and it'll knock you, you just start like giggling. Or chuckling. Or belly laughing. Could be. You know, the times I have this poem called From Our House to Your House, and it's about the end of the 50s and what it was like to live at that time. Now, things were probably pretty bad back then, but we didn't have newsreels on TV and 48-hour news days and divisive politics we cared about. I mean, there were problems and Korean War and all that. But it was better because we were just nicer. And we liked small diversions. Like we had a little, instead of Disney World, we went to Idora Park. Now that was over in Ohio, and it had a Ferris wheel and a tunnel of love and a roller coaster, and it was a big thing. We went once a year to Idora Park, and never once did we compare it to Disney World and say, well, that's nothing. It was a big deal, man. And so there was just something, small things just seemed better. Let's go play ball out back and not have to have a whole league of 12 teams and families mad at each other because so-and-so's on one team. I don't know. One thing I didn't like about it, though, was I had to grow up to be a man. You ever notice that? There's this idea, be a man. And I think it's still hanging around, you know. I had a colleague who said, you grow flowers, don't you? And I said, yeah. And he said, you can't eat them. And, you know, I don't know. I remember my first year in college, the cheerleading team got a bunch of guys together to sort of roar it up at the football games, run up and down, you know, come on, go get them, go get them. And they asked me to do that, and well, I thought that'd be fun, but my dad forbid it. Now, he wasn't a mean guy. He just said, you can't be a cheerleader, you know. Now that's improved. Now there's lots of guy cheerleaders, acrobats. But so many things in our culture suggest what a man is. Just watch a half hour of ads on TV and you'll see what a man is and what a woman is, and it's awful. It really is, the pressure. I think I've told you the only place I told anybody I was a poet was in Ireland, because poets were tradesmen in Ireland. They were necessary. Not big high regard and Pulitzer Prizes and all that waste of time, but here we're always trying to be the best. I don't want to be the best. I'm tired of trying to be the best. Well, we're probably way over time. Poor Julie. So I want to end with a poem, but it's short. But I want to say at our daughter's, she teaches in the Holland public school system, and they had an art show. And I want to tell you a wonderful thing and suggest it to your school. It was K through 12, the art show. And on all the, whatever they call those things that stand in the hallway and you put the art on it, they mixed them. So there would be a kindergartner and an 8th grader and a 12th grader and a 5th grader. And what a wonderful show that created. Just wonderful. It split the classes up and then it put these together and they were all together. There was so much going on there. It was wonderful. So let's finish with this poem, and apologize to Julie for not telling me how much time was left. This is called Morning Again, M-O-R-N-I-N-G, Morning Again. This poem will not be anything new. It will slowly make its way across the page and down, a walk from here to somewhere later on, where it will take its place quietly, I hope, with the leaves, the dog asleep on the couch, the way the garden keeps giving us plants, the way the wind is invisible, the way none of us can ever know for sure. Take care, be kind. Try to be cheerful. Boy, is that getting harder and harder. Thanks for being with me.